welcome to another video. It's me, Riadh, an English teacher. This is another online lesson devoted to fourth year students. This is the second part of the lesson EcoDriving of the last module entitled Life Issues. You can find the links to the previous lessons in the description box below. If you're interested and you want to find out more, please continue watching this video. Before getting started, let's see what this lesson's objectives are. By the end of the lesson, the students will be able to write a talk on eco-driving by watching a video and taking notes to do a matching exercise and filling in the blanks with the missing words. The words or expressions the students are meant to acquire in this lesson are tire, to strangle, eco-driving, to maintain, maintenance, economical, to economize, consumption, efficiently. If you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video, you can follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Don't forget to share this video and to send it to as many of your friends as possible so that they can make the most of it. In the previous lesson, we talked about global warming and its effect on human beings and the environment. And we also provided some solutions and tips on how to go green and be eco-friendly conscious people. Among these tips, we said that people should use fuel-efficient cars, they should switch to energy-efficient light bulbs, they should install photovoltaic heaters and solar panels, they ought to walk or bike instead of driving, they should be mindful or aware of using eco-friendly products. We also said that in order for people to also go green, they mustn't cut down the trees as they help absorb carbon dioxide. Junk mail around the world produces as much CO2 as 9 million cars. To stop receiving junk mail, people must contact individual mailers to have their addresses removed from their databases. Meat must be produced by raising animals fed organic foods without the use of hormones or antibiotics. Animals mustn't be given any antibiotics, growth hormones, or animal byproducts. We also said that people needn't use shopping plastic bags. Shopping plastic bags must be banned. They needn't use a clothes dryer, but rather a line to dry their clothes. They needn't keep appliances on at the power point when not in need. And they can also switch to green power, which can help reduce the carbon footprint. However, there is a more environmentally friendly manner that can be adopted if you want to go green. Something that not many people are mindful of, although it is accessible to any one of us. What is it? It's eco-driving. Eco-driving is the practice of driving in such a way as to minimize fuel consumption and the emission of carbon dioxide. The prefix eco refers to economical, which means not using a lot of fuel and money, etc. When we opt for such an option, we economize on fuel consumption and money. So it is a simple way to save both money and energy. To find out more about it, we have an expert. Watch the video and take notes to do a matching exercise later on.
With fuel prices on the rise, we've pulled together our top 5 eco-driving tips to help you reduce your fuel usage and, more importantly, save you money. Make sure the engine is running correctly. A blocked air filter can really strangle the engine's performance, and old oil won't lubricate as well as fresh oil. Regular maintenance is key. Check tyre pressures before driving when the tyres are cold. And you can find the correct pressures either in the inside of the door sill or, in this case, in the owner's manual. You can also buy low rolling resistance tyres for improved efficiency. And don't go carrying any unnecessary weight. A heavier car is a less efficient car. So leave items you don't need to take with you at home. If you're heading somewhere new, make sure you know where you're going to prevent wrong turns or getting lost. Use motorways where possible, as it will cut down on inefficient stop and start driving. Plot where to fill up with fuel, which has tested fuel price apps so you can find the cheapest fuel in the area. Keep a safe distance from the car in front. This will allow you to read the traffic flow ahead better, so you don't have to brake and accelerate abruptly. If your car has adaptable driving modes, then you can switch it into the most economical setting. And try not to use features like aircon, which should only be used above 30 miles an hour. In all other cases, just drop the windows down. And knocking the gear lever into neutral and coasting to save fuel is an absolute urban myth. The fuel injection system will still be pumping fuel into the engine, so it's safer and more efficient to change down the gears and use engine braking. Now, all cars have a claimed MPG figure, which is based on an EU test cycle. But we find that you can't always achieve these numbers.
So the tips provided by this expert are the following. We will go over the tips first, and then we will talk about the benefits of each one of them. First, make sure that the engine is running correctly. Then, check tire pressures before driving. Then, don't carry any unnecessary weights. Then make sure you know where you're going. Then use motorways where possible. Then keep a safe distance from the car in front. Then plot where to fill up with fuel. And finally, try not to use air features like air conditioning, but drop the windows down instead when driving. Not only these tips help maintain your car, but you will also save your money and fuel. But the question now, why should we follow these instructions and what benefits would they bring to us if we followed them? To find out more about these tips and the reasons why we should follow them, we will do this matching exercise. As you can see, on the left we have the tips provided by the expert, and on the right we have the purpose of each tip. Pause the video for 5 minutes and do the exercise at your ease. Match the tip to the appropriate purpose. You can get started. Let's correct the exercise now. The first one, drivers should make sure that the engine is running correctly. Why? What is the reason for that? In order not to strangle the engine's performance. So to keep your car running in tip-top shape, regular maintenance is key. How can we do that? It is recommended that they check tire pressure before driving. Why? What is the benefit of that? So as to improve fuel consumption. The third one, drivers should not carry any unnecessary weights. Again, why? What's the reason? So that they will make their car run efficiently. The less it weighs, the less fuel your vehicle will use or will consume. A heavier car is a less efficient car. Number 4, it is also advisable to know where they are going. Why? To prevent wrong turns or getting lost. Number 5, it would be better for drivers to use motorways where possible. Again, why? What's the reason? So that they can cut down on inefficient stop and start driving. To cut down, it means to reduce. So they will reduce inefficient stop and they keep driving. Number 6, drivers should also plot where to fill up with fuel to find the cheapest fuel in the area. Number 7, keeping a safe distance from the car in front is much safer as it allows the driver to read the traffic flow ahead better. By doing so, they don't have to brake and accelerate abruptly, which means suddenly. Number 8, it is recommended not to use features like air conditioning when the car is running in order not to add burdens to the car's engine and increase fuel consumption. The last one, drop the windows down to allow a fresh breeze to enter the car. By following these tips, we not only save fuel and costs, but also improve road safety as well as the quality of the local and global environments. Moreover, eco-driving provides direct benefits to the drivers and the passengers, namely more comfort and a relaxed atmosphere. After being familiar with some eco-driving related vocabulary and expressions, let's do now this exercise to consolidate what we've learned. This leaflet is about the 10 tips for a better eco-driving. Fill in the blanks with the missing words, and as usual, there are 2 extra words. Pause the video to do the exercise at your ease. Then watch and check your answers. The words we have: brake, consumption, bypass, costs, efficiently, highest, much, off, maintain, and engine. The first thing to do when we have such an exercise is to classify the words according to their types. The word brake can be used as a noun or as a verb. The second word, consumption, it's a noun derived from the verb to consume. The third word we have on the list is bypass, and it's a verb. The fourth word on the list is costs. It can be used as a plural verb or a verb with the subject he, she, or it. Then we have efficiently, which is an adverb. The adjective is efficient. We usually add ly to an adjective to get an adverb. The fifth word is highest, which comes in the superlative form. So we have to expect the article the if it's going to be used. Then we have the word much, which can be used as an adjective or as an adverb. Then we have the preposition of. The last but one word is to maintain, which is a verb. And finally, engine is a noun. Once done, we start reading the paragraph or the sentences we have and try to guess the missing words. The first answer is: maintain your vehicle to keep it running. How? When we ask how, we ask about the manner or the way we do things. So we need an adverb here because we want to describe how to keep the vehicle running in an efficient way. So the correct answer is efficiently. Maintain your vehicle to keep it running efficiently. The second missing blank is plan your trips to bypass congested routes. As you can see, we have the word to. One of the words we need after to is a verb. The correct answer here is bypass. So we should plan our trips ahead and in advance. Why? What's the reason? To bypass congested areas, which means to go around a place or thing and not through it as shown in the picture. By doing that, we avoid getting stuck in traffic. The next word is use the vehicle's motion energy as much as possible. As here is an indicator. Grammatically speaking, we use as plus adjective or an adverb plus as. As much is an adverb, and based on the context we have in this example, the best answer is as much as. The next word is use the highest gear possible to avoid engine strain. The indicator that we have here is the. The can be followed by a noun, an adjective, a comparative form, and different forms actually. So what is the best way to avoid engine strain? It's using the highest gear possible. The higher the gear, the lower the fuel consumption. Then we have accelerate and a missing word. We know that and is a coordinating conjunction. And we use and to connect two words, phrases, clauses, or prefixes together. When we have ands, we have to keep the same parallel structure. For example, if you have an adjective before and, so we need another adjective after it. If you have a gerund before and, then you need another gerund after it, and so on and so forth. Because accelerate is a verb, we need another verb from the list that best fits the blank. The best answer here is brake. To keep a steady driving, we need to accelerate and brake gently. The next missing word is turn off. Turn off the engine. Then we have to minimize extra energy loss that costs fuel and money. In this example, we need a verb. The word that refers to extra energy loss, which acts as a subject. Since the subject is singular, we need a verb with S when the tense is the simple present tense. So the correct answer here is costs. And finally, we follow our fuel consumption per track, per trip, per driver, day after day. Let's move on now to our grammatical point for today's lesson. The expert not only provided us with tips for eco-driving, but also gave us purposes to do that. There are several ways to express purposes in English. The expert advised us to know where we are going, to prevent wrong turns or getting lost. We use to plus base form verb to express a purpose in the infinitive form. But when we want to express a purpose in the negative form, not must come before the to plus base form. For example, he advised us not to strangle the engine's performance. So we need to make sure the engine is always running correctly. In the same context, we can also use in order to plus base form for affirmative purposes and in order not to plus base form for negative ones. As an example, we can say drivers should make sure that the engine is running correctly in order not to strangle the engine's performance. However, it should be noted that in order to is more formal than to. In the same context, we can also use so as to plus base form and so as not to plus base form to express purposes in the affirmative and negative forms respectively. As an example, we can say that it's always recommended that drivers check tire pressure before driving so as to improve fuel consumption. Another way to do that is to use so that, which can be followed by a modal like will, can, could, may, might. It would be better for drivers to use motorways where possible so that they can cut down on inefficient stop and start driving. It should be noted that the word that is optional and can be omitted. So we can say drivers should also plot where to fill up with fuel so they can find the cheapest fuel in the area. Let's move on now to the practice section. You've been awarded the Driver of the Year for 2019 prize and invited to be interviewed on Naufal Wertani's TV show to take part in the Healthy Car program. Prepare a 5-minute talk for the audience to give them some tips on how to drive greener so that they can save the environment and save on their pocket money. Use the notes we have seen in this video to prepare your talk. That's all for me, guys. We've come to the end of this lesson and these are its key notes. As usual, you can screenshot this page, add it to your portfolio and send it to as many of your friends. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up And also to make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much. Love and peace, Riadh.